Hi, I'm Allie, a senior artist for Sephora in Kansas City, and I'm super excited today because we are coming at you with more Halloween tutorials. So today is all inspired by royalty and by queens, and we're gonna kick things off with a really traditional classic queen. Then I'm gonna ease into something a little bit more edgy and vampy, and lastly, we're gonna do a queen bee. So stay tuned, and I'm really excited to show you how to get these looks. So jumping in, I'm gonna start with the classic queen look, and to start off this look, I already have prepped my skin. I have complexion on, and I'm starting by prepping my eyelids. So I'm just taking my ring finger and patting that all across my lid all the way up to my brow bone. Next, I'm going into brows. So this is really going to help lay the foundation for the eye work I'm going to do in just a minute, and I'm starting just by spooling out my brows, combing any hairs, kind of getting the overall shape into place. And next, I'm grabbing a brow pomade to fill my brows. And the reason I'm grabbing a pomade as opposed to a pencil or a powder is that I want some bold, dramatic brows. So I'm using something that's going to give me a little bit more intensity. And I'm going to go back to the eyes now. So starting with a flat shadow brush, I'm taking the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette, and I'm starting with the color called Blow. And I'm putting this all over my lid, all the way up to my brow bone. So next, I'm starting to shape and sculpt my crease with a tapered blending brush. I'm taking the color Instinct and very lightly starting to sketch the shape of my crease out. Loading up too much pigment, loading up too much product is really gonna make this look heavy, and we want it to look really soft and airbrushed. So now that I've sketched out the overall shape, I'm gonna intensify this a little bit since I've kind of laid out the groundwork. I'm taking a color now called Lethal, and I'm slowly starting to again build that intensity. So next I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm taking something that's a little bit shorter, has more of a dome shape, and I'm taking a deeper, almost eggplant purple, and I'm just putting this in that outer corner and that outer V shape. So starting right on my outer lash line and up into my crease. So next I'm gonna take my number 18 Pro Shader brush, and this is a tool that everybody should have at home. And I'm taking this, and in the outer corner, I'm using that same deep matte eggplant purple shade, and I'm really just intensifying and amping up the outer corner. This is really gonna give me some drama, some impact, and now that I've really laid everything out and blended everything, this is really where I'm gonna go in and take up the look. It's gonna make the eyes bolder, and it's gonna make it look more like Halloween and less everyday. And now I'm going back with the same tapered blending brush. I'm just blending out any harsh lines or harsh edges. It's Halloween and we can get graphic and crazy, but this look is really about staying pretty and classic and soft. So I'm just taking a little bit of that shade that's kind of a soft matte nude, and I'm just blending up through my brow bone and just softening out any harshness that's left over from layering on those deeper colors. So now that I've completed the eyes, I'm going to go back in and just clean up a little bit with concealer, because with this classic queen look, I want it to look very bright and very fresh and very porcelain and perfected. So in order to achieve that wide-eyed effect with this look, I'm going to grab a nude matte eyeliner pencil, and I'm just putting this right across my waterline, and I'm getting a little bit more generous with this product right in my inner corner of my eyes. I really want to look awake and bright and doe-eyed, and this is going to help to achieve that look. I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to take that same matte eggplant purple color, and I'm going to start to pull this right down on my lash line. So now that I've done that kind of first layer with this color, I'm going back in, and now I'm just adding a little bit more and building the intensity. With the lower lash line, you can keep it as soft as you want, but this is the time you can also go back and build the intensity. Now we're going to add some lashes. I'm using Roller Lash from Benefit, so I'm going to do a little bit of mascara. I'm going to apply false lashes here in just a minute, but I want to make sure that my own natural lashes are really coated in black mascara so that my natural lashes don't poke through. And this is going to help create a nice base for the false lashes to sit on. And now that I've done mascara, I'm going to do some liquid liner. So I'm going in now, and I'm going to do a dramatic wing. Again, this is not your everyday makeup, so go bolder, go more intense, make it a bigger wing. You can really amp it up. All right, so now that I have the majority of the eye work completed, I'm gonna go in and do some cheek work now. So again, I'm going bolder in the cheek, I'm going more intense, and so I'm using a brush that's a bit stiffer and a little bit firmer to create this bolder cheek. So I'm starting with a bronzer, and I'm really doing some shading and sculpting with it. This is a matte shade, and it tends to lean a little bit more cool. I do recommend something that you would typically use as like a contour shade for this step, because it's gonna give you more impact. Next, I'm gonna take a highlighter, And you could use any highlighter for this. I'm just doing something kind of soft and pearly, and I'm going to pack it on. So princesses are glowy and sparkly, just like this tiara, and I want my cheekbones to read that way. All right, so now that I have highlighter on and now that I have bronzer on, I'm gonna build the cheek. So with this blush, I'm using a shade that's a little bit more of like a dusty plum. I wanna have something that's got a little bit more impact than my everyday blush. Next, I'm gonna move into the lip. I'm grabbing Makeup Forever Aqua Lip Waterproof Lip Liner Pencil in 2C Rosewood, and I'm lining my entire lip. And make sure your pencil is really super sharp because that's going to give you a more seamless lip line and make it look super even and super precise. And next, I'm going to grab Artist Liquid Matte Lipstick by Makeup Forever in the shade 203 Cold Pink. And the shade matches my cheeks. So a great tip with this look is you can match your lip color to your cheek color, and it's going to give that really classic queen look. We're going to put the cherry on top with some lashes. So I'm using a pair that is a little bit longer, a little fluffier, a little more dramatic than what I typically wear every day. So now that my lashes are in place, a great tip, and you should do this anytime and every time you wear lashes, is grab a black waterproof liner. And I'm just going right underneath the root of my lashes and I'm tight lining. And now that my lashes are on my top, I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of mascara and just amp up the lower lashes one more time, just because I really wanna have that wide-eyed, doe-eyed effect with this look. All right, so this is the completed classic queen look. So when creating this look, the key pieces and things that you really need are a mauve-y, rosy kind of cheek and a really rich pigmented lip. And I have on some pretty big lashes, but the bigger the better because it's Halloween. So make sure you turn up the volume with the lash and grab a bold lip because that's really what completes this look. And this is my Edgy Vampy Queen. And I've already prepped my skin. I have complexion products on, and I'm opting for a more matte complexion just because I'm gonna do some line work here in just a moment. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of eyeshadow primer, and I'm really patting all the way from my lower lash line all the way up to my brow bone. Next, I'm grabbing a concealer and using a spoolie, I'm just gonna take a little bit of that lighter concealer and brush straight across my brows. And I'm just kind of like muting them out, and I'm just brushing them through just to take away any color, and I'm just layering on the concealer until I feel happy with it. So now that I've completed my brows, I'm taking that same concealer and I'm using one that's a little bit lighter, and I'm going straight across my lid. I really want to brighten up my lid. I really want to neutralize any discoloration, and I am going to use a white shadow here in just a minute, and that's going to give this white shadow more of a pop. So I already started with a bit of complexion, but I'm grabbing a little bit of a color correcting concealer and I'm patting this underneath my eyes. I really want to look bright and fresh underneath my eyes for the work I'm going to do in just a second. And now that I've color corrected, I'm still grabbing a concealer, the same concealer I used on my eyelids, and I'm tapping a little bit on my under eye and blending in with a beauty blender. Next, I'm going in to a single shadow. This is just a shimmery white, and I'm taking a flat shadow brush and I am packing this on. And I'm also taking it down in the inner corner of my eye and almost down like into the lower lash line a little bit. So don't be afraid to get a little generous. If it goes on bold, that's what you want. Next, I'm taking a fluffy blending brush and I'm grabbing Anastasia's Subculture palette. I am grabbing the color Rowdy, and I'm just starting by sketching and sculpting out my eye shape. And I'm taking this brush and I'm working it all the way from the outer corner clear into the inner corner of my eye and almost into that inner hollow. So now that I've sketched out my eye shape, I'm going back in with the color called New Wave, and I'm amping up and intensifying that same shape that I've already sketched out. And I'm using a smaller brush. I'm using one of our new Sephora collection detailing brushes because they're very small and precise to create this shape. Next, to intensify and add more impact, I'm taking the same brush and I'm using the color All Star from the Subculture palette. It's kind of a burgundy shade, and I'm just going right back on top of the line I've already created just to intensify a little bit more. So I'm going back in with a fluffy blending brush, and I'm grabbing a little bit of Dawn, and I'm just softening out right along my brow bone just because I want to make sure everything still looks really, really soft and polished. So I'm just softening any harsh lines, any places that I feel like need blended out. Next, I'm going to grab my number 18 Pro Shader brush, and I am grabbing the color Rowdy. And I'm tapping a little bit of Rowdy and tapping a little bit of All Star, and I'm just sketching a line in the outer corner of my eye, and I'm starting to pull those colors in towards the inside of my eye. And this is going to start to blend those colors into that white shadow I laid down earlier. but I really want to maintain the intensity in the outer corner. So it's really important when you're doing this up that you're only blending one direction and only blending in towards the center of the eye. All right, so now that I've laid out all the intensity and I've really blended and softened those bolder colors in the outer corner, I'm going back in with my number 15 brush, and this is a little bit fluffier than the number 18, and I'm just softening and, again, pulling in any of those shadows so that everything looks really blended and soft and smooth and even. So now that I've completed the shaping and sculpting on my upper lid, I'm grabbing a matte white eyeliner pencil, and I'm putting this in my waterline. So I'm just wiggling this in between my waterline. I'm also taking a little bit of this pencil and coloring a little bit in the inner corner of my eye just to give it that pop. And after I've colored with that liner pencil, I'm using my ring finger just to press in the product and make sure everything looks super smooth and even. So next, I'm going back in to do some detail on my lower lash line. And next, I'm taking the color called Edge. And Edge is this really great, like, chartreuse yellow. And I'm using the same brush, and I'm dipping it into that small detail brush, and I'm starting to really pack on and blend that shade in my lower lash line. This is going to give this really cool pop of color underneath. Next, I'm grabbing that same white matte eyeliner that I used just a second ago in my inner rim, and I'm taking a flat angled brush, and I'm tapping a little bit off of the bullet of the pencil, and I'm just creating almost like a wing with this white liner, but I'm really just doing a line. And with that same angled brush, I'm now going back in with the shade All Star. I'm stamping and pressing right along my lower lash line and inner corner, and I'm starting to build some drama. And again, this is why you want to start with your lighter colors and then go back in with darker colors, because you can always make this bolder. And I'm also taking the same shade All Star, and with that angled brush, I'm extending this out past and right below that white line, so it's creating almost like this striped effect on the side of my eyes. So now that I've completed the lower lash line, I'm going in with a black liquid liner, and I'm creating a wing, and I want the wing to be big and bold and black and intense, and the bigger the better. So now that I've completed my liner, I'm going to go in with a little bit of mascara now, just to make my lashes nice and black and full. And I'm applying this on top and bottom. So now the fun part, this is where it really gets Halloween and gets a little edgy. So I'm taking that same liner pen from Kat Von D, and I'm gonna start to do some stripes. Now, this can feel a little intimidating, but it's Halloween, it's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be able to be creative, and you're supposed to have a good time with it. So don't get too nervous if they don't look totally perfect or symmetrical. I'm just starting by creating some lines down the side of my face. And a good tip, if you're using a mirror that's up close, stop and look at a mirror far away so you can see how they're looking side by side. So if you look at this line that I drew on here, it got a little crazy. It got away from me a little bit. That's okay. Quick tip, just grab a cotton bud, wipe it off, grab your beauty blender or the brush with foundation that you used to apply your foundation earlier, and just go back on and touch it up. It's a super easy, quick fix, so if you're nervous, don't be. It's totally okay. And next, what I'm going to do, just to add a little more detail, I'm going to grab a black gel eyeliner, and using the back of my brush, I'm going to create almost a polka dot effect. And I'm just going to take this and stamp it onto my cheek so it creates a little dot. I'm just doing these randomly from side to side, so not really any particular rhyme or reason. I did do the two in the front symmetrically just because I wanted there to be a little continuity from side to side. So we wouldn't be an edgy queen if we didn't have edgy, big, fluffy lashes. So I'm grabbing a pair of velour lashes. These lashes are the Velour Lashes, the Silk Lash Collection in Fluff and Wispy. And because I'm really in the edgy queen mindset, I'm doing lashes on the bottom. So I'm grabbing Sephora Collection False Lashes in Astonish, and I'm just going to go up underneath my lashes with a little bit of glue on the lash band, and I'm going to press them on. So next, I'm going to move on to lips, and I'm grabbing a red waterproof lip lining pencil, and I'm going to fill in my entire lip, and I'm going to really line the outside of my lips as well. So now that I've completely filled in my lips with a red lip liner, I'm going to grab a liquid lipstick, and I'm going to fill in my entire lip. And I want this to get just a little bit tacky. I don't want it all the way dry because I'm going to add a darker color to it, and I want there to be a little wiggle room. And while that liquid lipstick is still a little bit liquidy, and a little bit wet, I'm gonna sketch the outer corners of my lips with a really deep, dark berry lip liner. So I'm just sketching in small strokes on the outer corner and really pressing my lips together to help melt those colors. Okay, so this concludes my dark, vampy, more amped up queen. So with this look, like, go bold. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's Halloween. You can totally take it up a notch and get a little out of your box. And if you don't do like these lower lines perfectly or something doesn't work out great, it's all good. It's Halloween. Roll with it and make it part of your costume. But this look is definitely a little more glam, a little more amped up, and a little bit bolder. All right, so now for my last and final queen look, I'm gonna do a queen bee look, and this is my favorite, so I'm super excited to get started. So I'm gonna start with my brows, and I'm just grabbing a spoolie, fluffing out my brows, and I'm grabbing a brow pomade, and I'm actually using a darker, deeper shade than normal. Next, I'm gonna move into eyes, so I'm grabbing a little bit of eyeshadow primer. I'm just taking my ring finger and spreading this out all across my lash line, lower lid, upper lid, all the way up to brow bone. Next, I'm gonna grab a concealer, and I'm just very, very lightly pressing this all across my lid. So before I jump into that yellow, I'm gonna shape and sculpt my eyes. So I'm using a soft nude matte tone, and I'm just gonna press this all the way across my lid, all the way up to my brow bone. So this is just gonna help to brighten everything up and help me to add some shape. Next, I'm taking the Sephora Collection Colorful Eyeshadow in Sunglasses Needed. This is a matte mustard yellow color, and this is really the highlight of this look, and we're gonna use this guy a lot. So next, I'm taking a soft matte brown, and I'm just taking a little bit of this product, just tapping a little bit in, and I'm coming from the outer corner inward to shape and sculpt. So I'm starting to build some dimension with this yellow. Next, I'm going back in with my flat shadow brush, and with that same soft matte brown, I'm taking a little bit of this and starting from the center of my lid and working out towards the outer corner. So now that I've added some dimension on my eyes, I'm gonna put a little mascara on to help lift my eyelashes up. And my lashes are really, really light and almost blonde on the ends. And so this is gonna help me to really see how everything is looking with my eyes open, with my lashes lifted. Next, I'm gonna grab a liquid black liner, and I'm creating a wing. Think bee stinger. So now that I've put down my wing, I'm grabbing a matte black eyeshadow with a small detailing brush, and I'm starting to now take the black over from the wing and into the rest of my shadow to create this stinger-like effect. So with black shadow, if black is an eyeshadow color that intimidates you, I know it's a color that used to really scare me, take little amounts and slowly build it on. You can always go darker, you can always make it blacker and richer and bolder, but start small and blend it out. And then if you need more, you can always go back and tap on a little extra color for a little bit more impact. So now that I've got that black on there, I'm going back in with a soft blending brush, something that's a little more tapered, and I'm just blending out across the brow bone. That's an area I just really like to always make sure looks soft and looks polished and smooth. Now that I've completed my work on my upper lids, I'm grabbing a little concealer, really brightening up under my eyes. Now that we've concealed, I'm grabbing a black liner pencil, and I am tight lining, so I'm putting this right across my waterline on both sides, and I'm just wiggling back and forth to build intensity. So now going back in with that Sephora Collection shadow, that really nice bright mustard yellow, I'm grabbing that same small detailing brush from earlier, and I'm wiggling this right underneath my lash line and almost into that black liner. I want this to look very blended. I want the yellow and black to really fuse together the way it would on a bumblebee. So I'm just wiggling these two colors together, and I'm starting to build some intensity with that yellow below my lash line. So now that I've completed the work on the lower lash line with shadows and liner, I'm going to go back in with mascara. So now that I've completed my eye look, I am going to now start to sketch out some honeycomb. So taking a soft matte brown shadow, I'm starting to create this honeycomb shape, and I'm using an angled liner brush, and this is going to really make it easy, and I'm just stamping on the different shapes. And here's the tip. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's totally okay if it's not, because you can soften it with some shadows in a minute, and it's Halloween. No one's getting that close to your honeycomb. So you just do your best, and if it's not totally perfect, it's okay. And now that I've completed my honeycomb with the brown, that was kind of my rough draft. And now I'm going to go in and fill with that same matte yellow shadow from before, and I'm using a really small detailed brush and really just pressing this in. I'm not doing a lot of sweeping because I don't want the brown and the yellow to muddy up or get lost And so I'm just tapping and filling in very, very slowly. So now that my honeycomb is filled, it's been sketched out, I'm grabbing a black liquid liner and I'm using a pen. And I do recommend a pen liner for this just because you want some precision. And I don't recommend using a gel just because it won't look as clean and the lines won't be as precise. But I'm just taking this liquid and going right on top of the brown lines I sketched out earlier with shadow. So now we're gonna do a little bit of shading, and I'm just grabbing a matte black shadow, so the same one I used on my eyes, and with a very, very small pointed detailing brush, I'm just coming in one of the angles of the honeycomb, and I'm just very lightly blending it into the yellow. So a great tip with this to really make this honeycomb pop and look realistic, you wanna make sure that you're placing that black at the same angle on each honeycomb. So if you're doing black in random spots, it won't look as dimensional. You want it to look shaded. And so you can see that I'm really taking that black shadow starting from the top and shading downwards. So now that I've finished shading inside the honeycomb, I'm gonna shade a little bit outside because I want this to pop against my skin and I want it to look like it's really, really dimensional. So I'm just coming in between the honeycomb with a little bit of that black shadow and a small detailing brush, and I'm just creating a shadow. So I'm keeping the point of intensity right in that V, and I'm blending away. So you can see I'm lifting up and out from that intersection between the two honeycombs. And I'm doing this on a few different sides just to create that dimension. So in between the angles of the honeycomb and then just right below that one flat line, just to give it dimension. And you don't have to do this on all sides. I think having it just in a few places really creates some impact. So now you can just repeat this step. So like I said earlier, you can do this anywhere on your face. I'm gonna do a little bit on the corner of my mouth, following the exact same steps as earlier, and I'm also gonna do a little bit up on my forehead just to give a little bit of impact, but you could do your neck, you could do your cheeks, you could really just get wild with it. And now that I've got all this honeycomb shaded and layered in, I'm gonna grab a glitter liner just because everything is better with glitter, including honey. And this is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner in Midnight Cowboy. I'm just grabbing a little bit of this and I'm gonna place this where the pops of yellow are. So I'm not gonna place this on the shadows because that's gonna kind of counteract that shading we've already done. I'm putting this where it is bright and yellow. So I'm taking that same glitter liner and I'm gonna put this in my inner corner now, and I'm kind of packing it on because I want some impact, and then using my ring finger to tap it out and blend it into that other yellow shadow. So again, I'm just pressing this on, really getting it glittery, and then using that fingertip just to soften. So using that same eyeliner, I'm now gonna grab a little bit and I'm gonna take it just below my lower lash line. So where we placed that yellow color earlier, I'm just gonna add a little extra because my jacket is sparkly and I want my eyes to be sparkly too. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit of a highlighting cream and I'm just gonna place this on high points of the skin. So I'm putting this on my cheekbones, I'm gonna put it on the bridge of my nose, and I'm just gonna pat this in with my fingertip because I'm gonna add a highlighter here in just a second, and this is really gonna make that highlighter pop and sing on my skin. I'm also adding a little bit on my Cupid's bow as well. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, my favorite part of this. I'm gonna grab the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter in Trophy Wife, which is this amazing, insane, glittery, magical gold. And just to tie in with this yellow gold theme, I'm gonna put this on my cheekbones, on the bridge of my nose, on my Cupid's bow. Any place that I just put down that cream highlighter, I'm layering this on top to get some impact. All right, and now that I've completed the eyes, I've completed the highlighting, I'm going to add a lip. So I'm grabbing a black eyeliner. So the same eyeliner I used earlier, and I'm using it as a lip liner. So I'm lining the outer corner of my lips, and I'm gonna fill my entire lip in as well. And now I'm gonna grab a black liquid lipstick, and I'm gonna fill in my entire lip. I just grabbed a little bit of concealer, and with a flat concealer brush, I just cleaned up the outer edges of my lips just to make sure that it looked really, really crisp. Because like I said, black can get a little tricky, but that's a great way to make it look more polished. So next I'm gonna move into lashes, and with lashes I am holding up two options because one is the bolder, more dramatic side, and one is a little more natural. So these are by House of Lashes, these are new at Sephora, and either one would be great for this look. I'm gonna go with the bolder and more intense pair because let's face it, I have honeycomb on my face and this look is intense. Next I'm gonna grab another pair of lashes, And I'm just gonna place these on my lower lash line. This is more of an optional step, but I highly recommend it because it's gonna make you look like a queen bee. Next, I'm taking a black eyeshadow and I'm just sweeping a little bit into my lower lash line just to blend the lashes in with the shadow that we did earlier. All right, so this is my final queen bee look. This is my favorite out of all the Halloween looks because it's got glitter. Obviously, that makes it a favorite. And it has this awesome, super cool gold highlighter. Definitely the most artistic look, but practice makes perfect. So if you're a little nervous about this, just give it a try before Halloween. But I also like this look because I feel like it makes my inside match my outside since I'm a queen bee. But I hope you guys liked watching this look. 2 key products that you need to make sure you grab are yellow shadow, awesome gold highlighter, and that is the key pieces of being a queen bee. We hope that you like this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. You can also follow me at Allie Gage on social media, and have a wonderful and safe Halloween from everybody at Sephora.